Hello again, Struckweb. Today I'm showing you another build video for Torchlight 3, and this one is for the Railmaster class, and it is a basic attack plus terrain build with a little bit of blasting charge and hammer spin for flavor. And yeah, it's definitely nice. It's called the Seismic Charger build, Railmaster build, and why the name? Because of the seismic charges we get from the cosmic bolts. I'm also using the cosmic gauntlets. I suggest using those and wearing those along with the boots, and another one piece of cosmic equipment, preferably the helmet, maybe the helmet and the chest piece. So I would be including two types of footage of me using flamethrower and shield car, and footage of me using flamethrower and shocking rounds and the shocking car. So you can even use shock and shield if you want without the flamethrower, but since I've got a good road doom pipe, I just wanted to use it. And there's different items I could suggest more about that in the gear segment, but yeah, the build could be nice, and I strongly suggest using that with the Electrode, especially with the upcoming relic changes. Maybe it would be even better to use that one. We will see. I will revisit the build for a 2.0 when they change the relics. For now, I think it's super nice, super strong even without a maxed out Electrode. While you activate your relic, you can do so much damage, and it's all about fast attack speed, a lot of attacks, a lot of hits per second that result in a lot of procs per second. This is where the train really helps with those procs for Electrode based around the lightning strikes passive. You can try and not use a basic attack, but I think basic attack fits well with this build. It's very defensive, regardless whether you're using shield car or not. You have a lot of uptime for the 90% cap of damage reduction. So I'm gonna start showing you the skills and then move on to the other segments as we go. So for the skills, what you wanna be kind of using depends on whether you have a chest piece, a helmet, or both, or none of the cosmic set. Currently I'm using both of them, so I have +2 in conductor and +2 in slammer skills. You would see on your screen screenshots of how to set up when you have +2 in slammer and conductor, and when you don't have +2. There is another setup when you just have +2 to conductor skills from the helmet, but don't have it on the chest piece, and you're using a blue chest piece for more damage, and that could work pretty nicely as well, but you would have to find 6 more skill points. So one thing I want to mention is what you're seeing here on my end needs to change. So the way I think it would be best would be to do it like that, and to spend those 4 points into this one. So you're spending those points into that, and that's your ideal setup for when you have +2 on each skill tree. I don't think I want that extra blasting charge blast. It's not doing much, and a little bit of extra damage is also not doing much for blasting charge. It's not used for damage, it's used to apply vulnerability, and I'm also proccing stuff all the time. This is super important, by the way. This is a tier 2 bonus, 65% damage versus stunned, blinded or slowed targets, regardless whether you're using Lantern Flash, another skill on any skill tree, or a basic attack. This would work. Even your pet probably would be doing more damage to that. I haven't tested about the pet, but anything else should work. So hammer spin is 50% damage reduction, shield on cast for 6 seconds. Super useful if you're not using shield car. If you go for a flamethrower and shocking rounds setup instead of a shield car flamethrower or a shield car shocking rounds, you really would want that. Then flying picks and spike drive are there just for the endurance regeneration, so you have more endurance procs for the skills. Then this one is just to give you attack speed for the train cars, which means more proccing of things like our relic lightning strikes. This one is faster cooldowns, which of course, needless to say, makes this faster and this faster as well as those things, those two things which we use, the hammer spin and busting charge. This one you don't need to get the main turret tier 3 bonus that pierces enemies for 3 seconds after using an active train skill, but it's not bad to have it. This one you don't want to go past tier 2 bonus unless you're using it. I'm using it and I'm switching between those 3 cars, I'm swapping those around. So I have more points spent into it, but if you really think you don't need to use it, then that's fine. But if you rotate shield car with hammer spin, you have a constant 90% damage reduction. 90% is the limit, by the way, so you just using a basic melee attack means you get 70% damage reduction for a short while. And that's pretty much it, I guess, for the skills. Hope the screenshots that you saw on the screen kind of helped you figure out how to build them if you don't have the items. And yeah, just let me know. Let me tell you what's the priority. I don't think this should be high priority. So if you need to only use the helmet, which would be my suggestion, to only use the helmet, you would need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 points, which I would suggest remove those 4 points here, maybe remove those 4 points here, and maybe spend the rest of the points somewhere, like maybe more damage for shocking rounds or whatever, and that should be fine. That should be fine. It would work with just the helmet if you don't have the chest piece. Now let's show you something more about the pet skills and then the relics. And here are the pet skills I love using. I love using Deadlier Strikes, which allows me to not focus on getting that much from my that much crit chance from my gear. I love using this for damage, but if you don't need damage as much and need more defense, of course you can get that one. But I think everyone eventually goes for Battle Cry on their setup. I love using Screeching Sun, a stun, especially for Railmasters where I'm doing more damage to stunned targets. And I love using Healing Friendship for extra healing every now and then. If you don't have Deadlier Strikes, I mean, any aura would do, whether you want defense or block chance or movement speed, which is pretty nice. You can get it. If you don't have Screeching Sun, Stun, I'm not sure what to suggest. Maybe Immobilizing Strike won't be that bad. So yeah, I think it's all about personal choices. There's not that many skills for the pet yet. Eventually we will have more, I assume. Eventually we might have some even better skills that make the pet do ranged attacks, hopefully. But that's it for now. Let's move on to the relic. And for the relic, keep in mind this is level 31 relic. I'm still leveling up that relic. But the setup would be 10 points here and here, 10 points here and here, and then 5 points here. And then the last 5 points I would leave up to the people to decide how to spend them. The way I would level this up, first I'm gonna go for 10 points on this one. Then I'm gonna go for 10 points on this or this, whichever you want more. If you want more damage, go for damage. If you want more chance first, go for that. But I think it's best to do it 10 points here, 1 point here, 5 points here, then invest points into this and this. Max those out to 10, and then spend another 9 points here to get this to 9, and then the last 5 points you would either want to put here or here. I think here is kind of useless and overkill if you have a chance to shock in your gear, but if you don't, then you might want to put at least 5 points there. But I personally, for this setup right now, would put the last 5 points into that one. So I would have 20 here, 20 here, and 10 here. And that's gonna be my setup for now. Keep in mind relics are changing in a major way, where all of this here we are seeing would be different. We would have multiple active skills, multiple passive skills, each having their own levels, not just procs attached to them that you level up. So that remains to be seen whether we would be using 60 points or not, but the relics would be sharing our regular skill points apparently. And there would be a choice we make when creating the character. So for now, use this setup. When things change, I'm gonna have to revisit this video and make a 2.0 setup with Electrode again, so I can see how things would be then. For the gear, there's some things I'd like to mention. There must-have items. Must-have item number 1 is Cosmic Boots equipped, not like me in the Legendarium, equipped Cosmic Boots. That would mean you would be able to get the Cosmic Set bonus, which is gain twice as many Seismic Charges. And those Seismic Charges would happen, you do 5 hits, boom, a Seismic Wave, Shockwave. Right now I'm do 10 charges, boom, Seismic Shockwave, so I have to hit 10 times. And that means I would be able to get it to proc twice as fast. You want the Stormblade in the Legendarium, and you want Frenzy's Blade in the Legendarium. Stormblade you get from Shriekbeak. When doing the story, I've gotten Stormblade from Shriekbeak every time, so everyone should have a Stormblade by the time they're like 40 something and doing Shriekbeak. And when you're done with the story, you definitely should have one. You could sacrifice, like salvage it, put it in the Legendarium. Frenzy's Blade is also something that's easy to get, so for the Cosmic Boots you're gonna have to gamble. You're gonna have to gamble for the Cosmic Boots. And for the other items, I would suggest of the Cosmic Set, Cosmic Gauntlets. You would really love those. I love them myself. It's not that much damage, but it adds up, it procs other stuff, so it's good. It's definitely nice to have it. Cosmic Helmet, I would suggest going for the Cosmic Helmet. Even if you don't go for a Cosmic Breastplate, get the helmet. So if you want only 3 pieces, get those 3 boots, gauntlets and helmet, and then in the chest, if you don't have like me the Cosmic Breastplate, you can have some sort of chest piece that gives you flat damage, or maybe flattened percent, or maybe just percent if that's matching your one-handed weapon or two-handed weapon. And speaking of weapons, this brings us to 2 combos you can use. So, for example, when I get the Cosmic Boots, I would consider 2 things. Thing number 1 would be using a very good road, what was its name, the Demolisher. I would be considering using Centrifugal Demolisher. This is great, why? First of all, we're not using Hammer Spin for the damage, but it does do decent damage. But 1 additional charge means additional 6 seconds of shield, which gives us a total of 90% damage reduction, and 25% lower cooldown means even faster shielding. That's one item you can consider. The Blast Breaker is also another item you can consider maybe using temporarily. But yeah, if you use the Centrifugal Demolisher instead of the Cosmic Boots in the Legendarium, this allows you to use a Doom Pipe if using Flamethrower Car. Because right now someone might want to be using Shield and Shocking Rounds instead of the Flamethrower, then Doom Pipe is not necessary. See, the one I've got here is pretty good because it has chance to bind, it also has crit chance, and it also gives me damage with Shocking Rounds and even chance to burn, and the chance to burn means every burn could proc Lightning Bolt, Thunder Strike. This one is chance to shock. This is a great one-handed weapon. First it has a built-in flat physical, then it has chance to shock, which great synergy for the relic, and then it has other 2 types of flat damage. I've given it by enchanting. Even though it's non-matching, it's still fine. And yeah, if you wanna be using Doom Pipe in the Legendarium, then you have to be using a Centrifugal Demolisher. But with the current state of legendary items, I would suggest don't wear the Demolisher. Put the Demolisher in the Legendarium and wear a good sword or a good mace. Alternatively, you could wear a very good blue staff and then just ignore the Doom Pipe. Even if you're using Flamethrower Car, you could probably ignore it. And staffs and swords have the fastest attack speed, and maces. But swords and staffs are probably the better choice. and I would suggest using a good roll like this sword if you can. Then you would want stats like plus damage to basic attacks, or plus attack speed for basic attacks, or plus damage to basic attacks with the item you're using, like with a mace, with a sword, etc. You might even want to consider using a shield. There aren't any specific legendary shields I would suggest using personally, but you might wanna try this shield, the shield that gives you bonus to shield car and shotgun car. I don't think it's really special, but you might want to consider the shotgunner shield. Again, I don't think it's really needed, so I wouldn't suggest using that one. So for the legs, I would strongly suggest don't go legendary. Go legendary only if you don't have a good blue. If you don't have a good blue with flat damage or percent damage that matches your main damage type. I mean, you can try and use the skittering boots, and that's fine. And not boots, the skittering legs, they're nice. I think the arc powered legs were also giving you some procs that you can do up in close range. But I would suggest skittering shoulder could be a good choice if you don't need extra damage reduction. Right now I don't think I even need skittering shoulder, because I've got my hammer spins, and I've got even shield car if I want them. So I went for arc powered shoulders to wear for extra damage procs. So arc powered legs, no, don't use those. I mistook that, so that's not the right one. And the goblin legs are also not good, so the skittering legs is the only legendary legs I would suggest using. Again, skittering shoulders is a good other suggestion for the shoulders, but I would go for the arc powered shoulders. Skittering you can even put in your legendarium if you think you can handle this. Good things that are okay but not really great are Sneku Stick and the Maestro Sword, but those really need a boost. They're really underwhelming. But yeah, I think that's it kind of for the items. Let's say some good stat rolls you might want to look for. So first of all, you want flat damage stat rolls. Whenever you can get flat damage, that's a must-have good roll. Then other things that are good looking for is damage to slammer skills, but I don't think you want it. It's better to get damage to conductor skills. But again, it's not about the damage for us, it's more about proccing, so attacking faster would be better. But keep that in mind. Then percent poison, fire, ice, electric damage, it's good if you stack it with a good base. Then plus health, plus defense, it's nice. Minus relic cooldown, not relic active skill cooldown, but relic skill cooldown, it's nice. Gear work, you have to consider how much gear work you get from maps. Legendary maps give you 50 and the limit is 100, so you don't have to go overboard with it. Crit chance, crit damage, amazing. Crit damage cap is 300, keep that in mind. Then chance to stun, slow blind, I think you really want something like that. I think you really want chance to stun, slow blind, and as you see I'm using that here, chance to blind. Unfortunately there is no chance to slow that you can apply from enchantments, so you're gonna have to try and find a weapon with it if you can, or an offhand. Chance to bleed, burn, not bad, it stacks, you can get some more dots. Chance to poison, not bad, it can give you some more dots, so it's not too bad. So another thing that could work would be, let's see what else we've missed. Well, I think we've said all the important things. But yeah, there are things like damage with a specific skill, like Shocking Rounds or Flamethrower, so those things are not bad, but I think the major things we did mention. But yeah, chance to bind is definitely not a bad thing to stack in certain items, bind duration, etc. Shock duration and shock bolts fired on shock is amazing. Shock bolts fired on shock is super nice for a build like this, so consider getting some of this in your build if you can, if the rolls allows it. It's not a must-have bonus, but it definitely procs stuff even more, because every shocking bolt can hit and proc a thunder strike, and that's just so much procs galore. So I think enough for the gear. That ended up being much longer than needed, but hopefully at least you got a lot of options and choices to consider. Now let's show you more gameplay footage. And here we are at the segment where I do show you a little bit of more gameplay, how I rotate my skills and talk more about the different ways of playing my builds. So this one, I would start by showing you some footage from when I was playing with Shield Car and Flamethrower Car. I think it's great because with a setup like this you have the maximum survivability you can get. Even without the centrifugal demolisher equipped or in the legendarium, you have 2 charges of hammer spin and you have a shield car. So you can start by using shield car for survivability. Once this buff wears off, you go and do a hammer spin. Then you do another hammer spin once that one wears off, and then by the time the 2 hammer spins have worn off, you should probably have another one which you can use, and then by the time the 3rd one runs off runs out, you would be able to have a shield car. If you want to maximize this rotation, it's even better to just start with a hammer spin charge, then maybe do another hammer spin charge, then maybe do shield car. By the time the shield car is over, the other 2 hammer spin charges would be ready. In the meantime, just keep using your train cars and make sure when you're using shield car you attack once before using flamethrower car, so you can proc the gauntlets twice, the cosmic gauntlets twice. Keep attacking those enemies, keep using those charges, the seismic charges that give you 400% shockwaves, and keep proccing those lightning strikes. Apart from that, you would have the flamethrower car constantly attacking, the basic car constantly attacking, and of course don't forget to use blasting charge for vulnerability on elites or at the start of combat versus packs of enemies. Now let's move on to show you a little bit more footage of me using the shocking rounds, the shocking car with the flamethrower. So this is maximizing the damage. You can get a lot of damage with that even without activating the relic. It's clearing out bunches of enemies quickly. This footage you're seeing was me playing on US server from EU, so there might be some delays or wagging, but overall definitely there's a nice amount of damage. And even with this setup, if you get the centrifugal demolisher, which I didn't have, you can have 3 charges of hammer spin, which is 3 times 6 seconds of extra 90% damage reduction stacking. Because you get 70%, which is 50 plus 20 from a passive, just by hitting enemy with melee, and then hammer spin adds another 50%, which leads you to the cap of 90. Definitely fun, definitely good using it with that, and you can see it's just so much killing potential, so much proccing and clearing speed. Now the thing that's slowing me down is not me not clearing fast, but mostly the enemy spawning a little slower, so I kind of let them spawn up and then do some AoE on top of them. So I'm gonna now show you a boss battle with each setup, starting with the shock plus flame and then the flame plus shield. But let me know what you think about the setup. If you have questions, leave some comments. I would do my best to answer them if I can. And I hope you really like this setup as a train or basic attack or both kinds of setups. If you wanna get notified for more content about this game or others like it, or various different types of RPGs, say RPGs, tactical RPGs, all sorts of RPGs, or other types of wooters, you could subscribe to my channel, get that bell button clicked to not miss those notifications. Thanks again for watching the video, folks. Keep it cool, and until next time, goodbye.